Call of Duty versus Battlefield, the never-ending war that seems to happen at least once a year. Which one is better? And
What'd you say about my mom?
Well, break out your Mountain Dew and Doritos and hit the sub button with those nacho cheese fingers, because we're going in hard this time. To begin to even understand the side of Call of Duty or Battlefield, I think we need to go back to the start. People have been comparing and taking sides in this perpetual war of opinions for almost 20 years. The first Call of Duty game, called literally just Call of Duty, came out on PC back in 2003. The first Battlefield game, Battlefield 1942, actually came out on PC 1 year earlier in 2002. So if we want to compare the basics of
you ain't first, you're last.
Then Battlefield wins the whole war, case closed. But no, there is so much more. At the time, both games were first-person shooters focused on the World War II era. They both had single-player campaigns and multiplayer modes. Call of Duty single-player was played out more like campaigns of the modern day with a story, whereas Battlefield 1942 was more about reenacting battles from World War II. The real divide happened 2 years later, though, in 2005, with the release of Call of Duty 2 on PC and Xbox 360, and Battlefield 2 on PC, with Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on Xbox, PS2, and Xbox 360. It wasn't just the PC players this time having to decide which game they wanted to get from their parents over the holidays. No, this time it was the PC players and the console players. To understand how big of a change it was opening up sales from PC to console as well, just know that the PC games played per year was around 570,000 in 2005, whereas console games were around 46.8 million. That means console games were played 87 times more often than PC games were. So, for the first time, console players had to try to convince their friends and parents which game to get, and the war between Battlefield and Call of Duty started down a trail with absolutely no hope of turning back. We'll get into the differences between the games over time in a bit here, but first, we need to talk about the overall success of the two franchises. In terms of sales, Call of Duty historically has sold more copies than Battlefield, somewhere around 300 million copies more than Battlefield. For reference, Battlefield has sold around 90 million total copies to date, and Call of Duty sits at around 400 million. And that doesn't even include Call of Duty Mobile, which would be another 500 million downloads. Call of Duty is actually the second most sold franchise ever, only behind all the Mario games. However, because Call of Duty has released a new game every year since Call of Duty 2 in 2005, and Battlefield has released a new game every 2 to 3 years, this is a difference that is almost expected. Battlefield has only released about 1/3 as many games and DLC as Call of Duty has in the same amount of time. Alright, as promised, let's talk about the differences between the games and how opinions change with time. In general, there are some things that I think both Call of Duty and Battlefield players can agree on. The first is related to the campaign or single-player modes available in each game. Call of Duty has typically had single-player campaigns that have better storytelling, are more immersive and interesting than the Battlefield ones. I guess you could debate that. Even Battlefield fans agree that they don't really purchase the games for their single-player campaign, whereas some Call of Duty fans really do buy the new game each year to experience the campaign the game has to offer. The characters in Call of Duty are just, they're so much more memorable than the characters in Battlefield. I mean, take Captain Price, for example. He's literally been in 10 different Call of Duty games in various forms since the first Call of Duty game. His backstory is extensive, from his time before even joining the SAS in the British Army to his time within Task Force 141. Battlefield, on the other hand, hasn't really had a continuation of characters across multiple games. There's some crossover between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 with Dima, and even more with Irish between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 2042 now, but it pales in comparison to Call of Duty, and I think both sides could agree on that. Yeah, well, or maybe not. Another massive single-player feature that Call of Duty has over Battlefield is zombies. Zombies first appeared in Call of Duty World at War and became virally popular upon the game's release. So much so that zombies reappeared in Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, and Cold War. Battlefield has only really had some co-op campaign side missions, and more recently, Combined Arms, which are more of a play the same game against bots instead of players kind of thing. Co-op hasn't really historically been a thing with Battlefield, but it might become more of a thing with Battlefield Portal. A more similar comparison to the co-op modes in Battlefield would probably be the Special Ops mode that's offered in Call of Duty, where you play through short missions or try to survive through hordes of enemies with your squad. For multiplayer, both games have taken a stab at having a Battle Royale mode. Call of Duty Warzone is arguably one of the most successful Battle Royales that's ever existed, up there with Apex Legends, Fortnite, and PUBG. Battlefield made a, failed attempt with Firestorm, but for various reasons it died off pretty quickly. It wasn't ready at launch with Battlefield 5, wasn't free to play, didn't have crossplay, and was rarely updated by the development team. Warzone, on the other hand, has frequent updates, is free to play, and has a massive cross-platform player base. It's currently infested with hackers and cheaters though, but that's definitely a video for a different time. And that's not to say that Battlefield won't be the same way. Battlefield also might be taking a new route away from the Battle Royale format with Battlefield 2042, opting instead for a large-scale Escape from Tarkov-like loot and extract mode with Hazard Zone, but this is still just speculation based on leaks so far. Another thing that players mostly agree on is that Battlefield is better when it comes to sheer scale and destruction. The map sizes, player counts, and levels of destructibility in Battlefield are objectively just higher. Interaction with the environment in Battlefield ranges from micro-level details like bullet holes in walls and grass moving as you walk through it to massive levolution events with entire sections of the map completely changing during critical points of the game. Battlefield also has more dynamic weather with things like fog, snow, and storms taking place at random times during a match. Battlefield maps also feature much more verticality than Call of Duty does, with skyboxes designed for jet and helicopter gameplay, mountains and skyscrapers that you can play on top of as well. And you could argue, sure, that Warzone still has, hills and taller buildings, but it's still not quite to the level that Battlefield is. And this is where things devolve into the madness that is Call of Duty versus Battlefield. At its core, Call of Duty has always been more of an arcade-style shooter. Games are fast-paced with frequent high-octane adrenaline-fueled combat, scratching that instant gratification itch with points and medals flashing across the screen as you flick a one-handed 360 no-scope heady while licking the Dorito dust off your finger! There are a ton of different game modes to cater to different styles of play, but matches tend to go pretty quickly. Battlefield, on the other hand, is more of a realistic shooter with longer games. Now, I use realistic loosely as it's very far away from a mil-sim shooter, and half the people out there are just trying to launch vehicles across the map or do, cheap stuff. But the fact remains, Battlefield is still a more realistic experience with more time between fights and engagements occurring at a lot of different ranges. The average time for a match is also much longer than Call of Duty, so you spend less time overall in the lobbies. But let's be honest, where would our childhoods be without those Call of Duty lobbies?
What the fuck you do? Now I'm gonna cry, motherfucker.
Nice.
Another hot point of debate is that Battlefield takes more teamwork than Call of Duty. And in a general sense, yeah, Battlefield does reward you more for completing objectives as a squad with things like restocking others with bullets and tossing people meds or repairing vehicles, but Call of Duty also requires serious teamwork. I mean, if you've ever watched some of those Call of Duty tournaments, you'll see just how much teamwork is going into those. I don't know how they do it. It's so fast-paced, but they're definitely working together. I will say that the game of Call of Duty focuses on individual performance over squad performance, though, in the form of kill streaks. The hit of Call of Duty games is getting that next kill streak and completely going off and dropping nukes on everyone. You don't need teammates for that. No, you just need yourself in a good power position. And Battlefield players might respond with something like, oh yeah, well in Call of Duty you get kill streaks, whereas in Battlefield you are the kill streak, which has some truth to it, but at the same time, kill streaks are a hell of a lot of fun too. In Battlefield, you have the option to choose from planes, tanks, armored personnel carriers, airships, and even horses. Call of Duty just doesn't have that variety of vehicles, and at least not yet. Gunplay is another hot topic. Call of Duty has typically had a faster time to kill with much less of a learning curve, as the guns have little recoil and the satisfaction comes from racking up kills as you switch from target to target. Battlefield has a longer time to kill, with satisfaction coming from things like hitting a headshot with a sniper rifle from a half-kilometer away, or manually guiding an SRA missile into a dude that's parachuting. The learning curve with Battlefield is a bit steeper too, as you have to learn the bullet drop and how far to lead a target based on distance and the type of gun you're using. Call of Duty, on the other hand, has pretty much been hit scan over time, but it still doesn't take away from some of the very impressive cracked out plays we've seen over the years. Another thing, customization of guns and attachments or skins for characters and vehicles has also been something that's been debated about which game does it better, but they really feel like they both offer a lot of options. Both games allow you to customize your loadout to whatever playstyle you want, with Call of Duty's perk and killstreak systems and Battlefield soldier and vehicle customization. Call of Duty probably has more detailed customization for player profiles, weapons, and characters, but Battlefield has a lot of variety built into gadgets, classes, and vehicles. It's definitely a point that people argue over, and it's probably because customization feels so similar yet different. Graphics and sound design are other things that will sometimes be thrown out there. It feels like Battlefield was winning in terms of graphics and sound design for a long long time, but both games now have great graphics and offer smooth gameplay experiences on both PC and console. Well, at least for the most part. There is something to be said, though, about Battlefield with its HUD off and why some people consider it to be an absolute PTSD simulator. I guess what I'm trying to say is this: as new titles continue to release around the same time every year, like Battlefield 2042 and Call of Duty Vanguard, the Call of Duty versus Battlefield debate will always keep coming back. And it's honestly a lot of fun. The games cater to slightly different audiences, but there is also a lot of overlap. And I can personally say that I've played almost the same amount of Battlefield as I have Call of Duty. I have fond memories playing both games from when I was younger all the way up into the past year, and I think that's what makes people so passionate about this whole thing. There's the nostalgia factor, but the games are still fun and evolving with time. It also feels like the lines between Call of Duty and Battlefield are blurring, with each game slowly converging towards each other. Call of Duty is getting larger and more detailed maps and more destructibility, while Battlefield seems to be reducing in destruction and ramping up on the specialist-specific look and feel. I'm curious though, let me know down in the comments what I missed and which game you feel is better and why. Remember to like and subscribe for more video recommendations like this one, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one.